TJ SIMERS from the LA Times. TJ was in town. He's up with Steve and Dave. TJ, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So you called it the ultimate bore and gore, and it sounded like a lot of things about the event turned you off.
No, I didn't enjoy it, but I don't enjoy combat sports. I told that to Dana when I came into town. I said I wanted to give it a chance, and I know there's some people critical of mainstream media who think they jump to conclusion right away, but I spent 2 days with Dana. I sat down with Brock Lesnar and probably got some stuff out of him that some other people haven't done, which is he's really kind of a puppy and a sweetheart if you get through the WWE Act, and did a column on Mir's wife and talking about her struggles and what she's done to try and help her husband. Then I went to the event, and it wasn't my cup of tea.
Okay. You saw nothing positive in terms of the actual competition.
No, I have a real problem with people getting in a ring and maybe one person leaving at the end of the day, not a better physical specimen than when he went into it. Too much at risk. I just don't think that it's just my form of entertainment. I know other people think it's competitive and everything else, but I thought before I went there I wouldn't like it, and I left believing that I didn't like it. But I gave it a chance. I know is this Steve I'm talking to now?
Yes.
Yeah, Steve. I mean, I know you indicated to people that I jumped to conclusions and came in with a preconceived notion that I wouldn't like it.
Right.
I also find it interesting that you wrote on the website before talking to me that you came to that conclusion. So you're as guilty as I am, if that's the case, in terms of how I approach this.
Right.
I made no bones about it to Dana when I showed up. I'm mainstream media. I'm not writing for MMA fans. I'm writing for the casual person who says, what's this all about?
Right.
Is it worth my time? Should I go there? Should I pay any attention? Should I buy the pay-per-view?
Right. You're writing for one group of casual fans. I mean, I write an MMA blog, but I've done a sports talk general radio show for 15 years, and you're entitled to your opinion, but I do think coming in that you weren't really going to give it a chance by some of the comments. I mean, some of the stuff to express outrage over someone being called an animal in a fight is kind of ridiculous. Boxers, NFL players, guys are referred to as animals when they're super aggressive and overpower people. The thing about Mark Coleman I didn't get either. The guy expresses a little emotion. He misses his 2 daughters. He's been out here 3 months, and somehow that's a joke.
Yeah, well, first of all, anything that I write, if anybody's paying any attention down the line, and you portray in your writing online that you know what I do, I make fun of everybody. I call my daughter the daughter who can't get a date. So Mark Coleman goes on and he says into the camera, as they've been talking during the bout, that for 70 days he hasn't been around his 2 daughters, and he looks into the camera and says, "You're my life, baby," and we're supposed to guess which one he's talking about. That to me is funny. And at the same time, the idea that in the name of competitive spirit, these kids mean so much to him, and he spent the last 70 days without them. It was a paragraph, just as a paragraph about some TV guy saying John Jones is an animal, and it was another indication that just the whole night, this is what it is. It's about animal behavior. It's about people beating each other up.
In reading the column today, my thoughts were, boy, you were coming down to me rougher on not the participants in the event, but the people who pay money to witness it.
Yeah,
it's a moral decay here.
Absolutely. Dave, you hit it right on the head. The MMA people, or Ultimate Fighting people, and I guess there's a distinction in all this stuff, they don't have it right. They don't understand the criticism that I was levying there. I mean, I actually did give it a try. If you want to talk about mainstream media not giving something a try, they don't go in 5 days ahead of time and spend time interviewing Dana White. And in fact, I wrote very favorably about Dana White, wrote very favorably about the participants. My problem's not with them so much as it is with the guys that are sitting in the audience. It's just wrong in my book that people are screaming. The loudest cheers of the night were early on when, and help me with the guy's name, but I think it was Mac Danzig.
Right. Yeah.
It was just bleeding all over the place, and people were absolutely enthralled, and it was at that point was making their night. I don't buy that.
But CJ, we're getting on each other for assuming what the other one was thinking going into the event and during the event. How do you know what the fans were really thinking? How do you know what the hardcore fan thinks is entertaining? Just because there was blood doesn't mean they were bloodthirsty, and that's what turned them on the most. When
that was the loudest shout up until that point of the night was when at the end of the first round, the guy still was fighting. And then when they came out to start the second round, that's when people really got into it. I mean, I was there. I mean, it's not like I'm writing this from afar. And even though I couldn't see because I'm sitting in the front row, and I know, Steve, you made a big issue out of that, which is another ridiculous thing.
Why is that a ridiculous thing? I wrote that you came in the media room and you said you didn't enjoy your front row seat.
I don't know which conversation you were eavesdropping on.
You know what? I didn't have to eavesdrop because what I was doing is covering the event, and it was a table of people talking, so I couldn't hear. You were talking to Ed Graney, and you said, I can't see the event.
Yeah, I said it's my first event, and I'm sitting down in the front row, and I got a bunch of photographers up in front of me in the octagon. I thought it was funny.
Right.
That you come there to see an event, and as soon as both guys go down to the mat, forget it, you can't see. Then you got to look at the big screen, and people are spending money in other seats, and they can't look at what's going on there. I thought that was kind of funny. I think it's kind of ridiculous, and it was actually that's why I went into the media room a couple times to watch some events up close on TV, so I could get a better view.
See, but I also think that comes off as the chasm between some media guys and the fans, and it's not only a demographic thing, but in the case of you, TJ, you're complaining that you have a front row seat. People paid all that money.
No, I'm not complaining. They can put me in the 17th row for all I care, so I can see it. I'm working. That was a work night for me. That was not for a night where I bought a ticket and came and have fun. I'm working the event. If they had said you can't watch the event in the first row, you got to watch it from the media room, that's where I would have watched it. I actually went to the media room and left my seat for several of the fights so that I could listen to the broadcast to find out what the experts were saying and to get a clearer view. I was doing my job as a journalist. I didn't care about going as a fan. So, to use that as criticism is just kind of ridiculous because that's missing the point. And now you're trying, as you accuse me of harping on things that don't really make a lot of sense.
I just expressed why I wrote it.
The issue here really is,
right,
for the mainstream,
right,
is this entertainment fair? And as Dave hit it right on the head, I got no problem with the athletes. I actually admire what Dana White's done in many respects in making something that's successful like this and trying to put a respectful appearance to violence, as I indicated in the column. But after watching it, it's just not for me. That's my job. I'm paid money to write what my opinion is. It's not I'm not a reporter. We had a reporter there.
Right.
My job is to give my opinion, and after spending several days and talking to different people, it just isn't something that I want to be any part of.
So, hey, TJ, so then how do you balance kind of doing your job, making sure that you get readers and getting younger readers out there?
No.
With the fact
my job is credibility. My job is credibility. My job is not to recruit. My job, if I'm going to recruit, then I'm going to be a phony.
All right.
Then I'm going to go out there and say things that people, and people know that when the Lakers won the championship here, I don't like the people on the team, so I was critical of the Lakers, and even when they won the championship. I'm going to survive, or have survived up to this point, through credibility, that people know that when I write it, I'm not pulling their leg.
Right.
I'm pulling jokes, and I'm making fun of things, because that's part of my delivery and shtick, but it's credibility. So, yeah, the easy way to go would have been to go to Vegas, as I did with the early stories, which were all very positive, and then to say, well, yeah, I can see some of the benefit here, and go that route, because then I could have pandered to another younger group of audience. And as so many people like to say, well, newspapers are dying and going out of business. Well, that may be true, but there's always going to be a form of communication.
Right.
So that doesn't change anything. That doesn't make my opinion go away. But I gave an honest opinion and accounting of the situation after spending a week there.
All right. What was worse, the reaction from the dog show fans or UFC fans so far?
Amazingly enough, and I don't want to start email coming in.
We know what it is. It's not amazing.
No. Half of my email was thanking me for writing the column.
Okay, good.
Now, that may be, and I'll be honest, that may be because I reach an older audience,
right?
Just as you are indicating,
right?
But clearly, the dog people were more upset.
Well, it's dogs,
and they don't even begin to match the people of the Barbaro people when I called Barbaro a pile of ashes. So
thank God you didn't make a joke about the Pitbull and Michael Vick and George St. Pierre and Thiago Alves.
Yeah,
no, it got real ugly.
Yeah.
All right, hey TJ, we appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Thanks for being understanding about some of the shots, and we do understand your side of it. You going to cover another event or in the future?
No, I'll send my son-in-law on my behalf.
Let's get you on soon, okay? Thank you.
All right, take care.
There you go, TJ SIMERS.